guys, this is Carrie from Glitzy Glam, and we are going to paint a sign. I'm going to paint it red, and then I'm going to stencil it using this, and it's going to say, "Loved you then, love you still, always have and always will." It's going to be my Valentine DIY. So let me show you what what I'm doing to paint the board before we start stenciling. All right, I wet my paintbrush, and then I'm just going to put it in some red paint and dip it in there again, because I want this paint to be real watery, because I want to paint the board red, but I still want the wood grain to show through. So that is why we add all the water, so we can spread the paint out. Okay. See, that part goes rather quickly, but we want to make sure we get the edges painted, so if we hang it up, the edges will be the same color as the rest of the board. There. All right, and one more edge. All right, so it's nice and covered. All right, and stay tuned, and I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay. Now, and also for the same reason, we want the wood grain to show through. So we go in and rub it off. See how the grain of the wood shows through? And it also will help it dry faster. That's just an added bonus. And there you go. Now you want to wait till the whole thing dries very nicely before you add the words. So we're going to go ahead and let that dry, and we'll come back and on the rest of the video in just a little bit. Okay, now once this is dry, we tape on the stencil like this, and we take the paint and we stick the brush in the paint and tap it off, and then we start tapping in the letters. Now I'm starting in the middle just because it looked like the best part to show you right here. And you just tap up and down until you get a coverage like that. All right. All right. I've done most of this just so that you didn't have to watch me pounce and paint this exact same way all the way through. I'm just going to finish up this part here in the middle for you so you can see exactly how I do it. and then I'll show you the reveal. You're basically just going up and down on every letter to keep as much paint from going under the stencil as possible. And the tape is just to keep the stencil in place so that it's not moving around and you have crisp edges. All right, now I'm going to take this off and reveal to you, but this is how it looks completed. And we're going to take it off. All right, and this is what it looks like with a handmade stencil. And as you can see, some of the letters need to be fixed because when you're making a stencil, you have to leave those little parts out so that you can have this part in the middle there. Now, this is a homemade stencil. If you bought a stencil, it'd be a little bit different. You still will have some of those spaces. They just won't be in as obvious as places as these right here. All right. So then what you do is you take a paintbrush like that, real skinny paintbrush, and then you come back in and you gently paint in. See how this was painted in. Now I'm doing it on here because I'm doing this video, but you could even let this dry so that you can lean your hand on the board to steady your hand. But I'm not able to do that because it's still wet, and I'm trying to show you how you paint these in. All right. See how that says, love you, then love you still, and love you always, have, always will. All right, now I'm going to fix that, and I'll show you when it's done. And you can kind of use this as a guide and see where it needs to be filled in and where it doesn't. Now you can see, all right, on this top row here, you can see that it needed, all the loops needed to be painted in, the letter E's, and part of the cross part of the T. And now I'm going to do these loops, the letter O's. And now see how the love you still. Gonna finish this heart. This A. Let me get a little closer so you guys can see. The letter E. And always here's the A, another A to be finished. And always will. Oh, all right. It's almost done. I almost forgot these L's right here. Now, this is a DIY project, so there are areas where it's not going to be perfect. So, here you go. Here's the finished product. Now, the only thing is, I'm going to see if I can come back in and fix that a little bit with some red. And then it will be done. I kept a little white on the paintbrush as I came in and fixed this Y so that it matched the background there. See how that is? Okay, and I think I need a little more work on this S right here. All right, there you go. Here is the finished product. Now, another way of doing this, you can either stencil a sign like this, or you can also cut out some white vinyl and on your silhouette machine if you have one, and you can use that. You can use the iron-on vinyl or the sticky vinyl to make a sign like this. But I wanted to show you how to do it with paint in case you do not have a vinyl cutting machine. And it was easy peasy, and you can do it. Now, the only other thing I'm going to do is a little bit of antiquing on the edges. I'm going to get a little brown mixed in with this leftover white. Okay. And then we're just going to put a little bit of the brown around the edges. Okay. Now it's supposed to be kind of a dry brush. But we may have to come back with a little water or a little bit of white paint. But this just kind of gives it a little bit of a antique-ness. See how this gives it a little bit of a tarnished look. Okay. All right, and then here we just add a little bit of smudging. With the wet paper towel, so that we get some of the, where it had a little too much, and rub it in. And now it has like an antique-y, vintagey look. Keeps the white from being stark white, and it still lets your red shine through, and it just gives it an aged look. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, how to make a sign, and I hope that you can recreate something like this for your Valentine's. All right. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you on the next video.